This is the first chapter of your prose section, and this is ironically named the last lesson. This tells us about a situation in which Germany had again defeated France, which it did most of the time. And a little boy, Franz Farenz, he was going to school. He did not have any intention of going to school. Actually, he did not want to go to school on that day because the day was beautiful, warm and beautiful. The birds were chirping at the edge of the forest, and the Prussian soldiers were drilling. The German soldiers, they were doing the march past and all the drills and all that. Uh, but he was a good boy and he started off for school. There's one more reason why he did not want to go to school, and that is that his very strict teacher, M. Hamel, had given him a test on participles and he was absolutely not ready for that. In the second part, we find Franz starts for school, and as he was passing through the village, he saw a crowd in front of the bulletin board. He did not wait. For the last few years, all the bad news came from the bulletin board, and this time the news was actually, which Franz did not know till then, uh, and will not know till he reaches the school, was that uh, the the order had come from Germany. An order had come from Germany that there will be no teaching of French in the provinces of Alsace and Lorraine. Only German will be taught. As he moves towards the school, he is stopped by the blacksmith watcher who advises Franz that don't be so fast, you'll reach school in plenty of time. Franz did not understand. This is where part B ends. In part C, we find that, as Franz approaches the school, he found a few changes. A, the school was very, very quiet. It looked like a school on a Sunday morning. The sound of the opening and closing of desks, the sound of the children repeating the lessons in chorus, the sound of the teacher's ruler on the table were not heard. The second change was that the teacher M. Hamel was wearing his very special dress, which he wore on prize days, inspection days, and for Sunday masses to the church or the chapel. So he was wearing a special dress and he was very kind. He said, "Come on, little Franz, we were starting without you." The villagers were there. Franz did not understand why they were there because the last benches, which were occasionally empty, were now occupied by the villagers. Now the lesson started, and M. Hamel announced that he will leave the next day, and the German teacher comes the next day, and there will be no more French lessons. Now there was a silence in the class. Everybody was sad. Uh, Old Hauser, he was crying. The postmaster was there, and it was a very emotional scene. And Franz also felt bad. He thought that he did not know much French. What will the people say about him? And he was sad for wasting his time climbing up the hills, sliding down the hills, and searching for birds' eggs. And the books, which were a burden a few minutes ago, were now his old friends. Already started missing the books. Uh, M. Hamel also criticized himself. He said that he should not have, given them holiday whenever he went for fishing. He sent the children to water the plants. That was also not right. He was also angry with the parents of the kids. He said that they were more keen on the children working in the farms rather than coming to school. He also criticized the habits of the people of Alsace and Lorraine, the habits of procrastination, keeping things for the next day. Today I'll not do it, I'll do it the next day, and when tomorrow comes, today I'll not do it, I'll do it the next day, and so on. So, laziness. And then Franz, when he was asked about participles, he did not know anything. He looked at this, at the terrace, at the ceiling. He was probably seeking divine help, which did not come. And then M. Hamel said that it's very sad. He then spoke about the French language. He said that this is the most beautiful and logical language in the world, and people should preserve this language because this language was going to be the key to their freedom. The lesson started. Nobody paid any attention here and there. Everybody was concentrating very hard because it was the last French lesson. A beetle flew in. Nobody cared. If it had been the other days, the younger children would have jumped and shouted, and everybody understand wonderfully because they concentrated hard and the teacher gave his best. There was a sound of the there was the cooing of the pigeons, and Franz, the innocent boy thought that if the Germans were so powerful that they could make the children and the adults speak in German, aren't they so powerful that they could make the pigeons also coo in German? Uh, he heard the sound of M. Hamel's sister arranging the luggage. They were leaving the next day. And finally, when the church bell rang, M. Hamel signaled that it was the end of the class. He wrote on the board, Vive la France, and he gestured with his hands, saying everybody to go away. Just before that, he was looking here and there. He was probably trying to carry back the memories. He was probably trying to register, or rather, in modern jargon, download the memories in his mind. And that is how it ends. We will subsequently do a detailed analysis of this chapter, but for now, thank you very much for listening.